The kindness paradox. Why the kindest people are often treated the worst. Here's a psychology truth most people are not ready to hear. The kinder you are, the easier it can be for some people to take advantage of you. And if you've ever felt like your kindness was ignored, misunderstood, or even used against you, you're not imagining it. In fact, psychologists have studied this pattern for decades, and the explanation behind it reveals something uncomfortable about human nature. Kindness is one of the qualities society praises the most. We teach children to be kind. We admire kind leaders. We celebrate stories about compassion. But strangely, in everyday life, the kindest people are often the ones who get interrupted, overlooked, or taken for granted. Why does that happen? Why do people say they value kindness, but sometimes reward the opposite? Think about a moment in your own life. Maybe you stayed late to help a coworker finish their work. Maybe you listened patiently while a friend talked about their problems. Maybe you gave your time, your energy, or your support when someone needed it. Now ask yourself something honestly. How often was that kindness returned? For many people, the answer is uncomfortable. Research in social psychology shows something surprising. People tend to respect those who protect their boundaries more than those who constantly sacrifice themselves. In other words, the person who always says yes often receives the least respect. And that feels unfair, because kindness should make people appreciate you more, not less. But human psychology doesn't always work the way we expect. But here's where the paradox becomes even more interesting. The problem isn't kindness itself. The problem is how our brains interpret signals. And sometimes, kindness sends signals we never intended. Our brains constantly evaluate social behavior. Who has confidence? Who sets limits? Who commands respect? When someone gives endlessly without protecting their own time or needs, other people may unconsciously interpret that as low status. Not because kindness is weak, but because unlimited kindness without boundaries can look like a lack of self-protection. Here's the difficult truth. People rarely take advantage of cruel people. They take advantage of kind ones, not always intentionally, but because kindness often assumes good intentions, even when those intentions are not there. This tension has existed for centuries. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once argued that societies often praise kindness in words, while rewarding power in practice. He believed that many social systems admire compassion publicly, but privately respect strength more. And history shows examples of this conflict again and again. Take the life of Mahatma Gandhi. His philosophy of nonviolence was based entirely on compassion and restraint. But when he first began his movement, many critics mocked him. Some believed his refusal to use violence made him weak. Others believed kindness could never defeat power. But history proved something remarkable. Compassion and discipline eventually helped reshape an entire nation. Kindness works differently from dominance. Dominance forces obedience. Kindness builds trust. And trust is one of the most powerful forces in human society. Without trust, families collapse, communities break, and cooperation disappears. From an evolutionary perspective, kindness wasn't just a moral choice. It was a survival strategy. Early humans who shared food, protected each other, and cooperated were far more likely to survive harsh environments. Groups that worked together outlived those that didn't. So compassion became part of our biology. Our brains are literally wired for empathy. But here's the part most people misunderstand. The strongest form of kindness is not endless sacrifice. It is kindness with boundaries. Healthy kindness says something very powerful. I care about others, but I also respect myself. And interestingly, studies show that people who combine empathy with assertiveness are often seen as both trustworthy and strong. This balance creates something rare: respect. So if you've ever felt like your kindness was ignored, that doesn't mean kindness failed. It might simply mean the world misunderstood it. Because true kindness isn't passive. It's a quiet strength. the ability to care for others while still standing firmly in your own worth. In a world that moves faster every year, kindness can sometimes feel invisible. Small gestures get overlooked. Quiet compassion rarely becomes headlines. But if you think about the moments that stayed with you the longest, they were probably not moments of power. They were moments when someone chose to be kind. A teacher who believed in you, a stranger who helped you, a friend who listened when no one else did. Kindness may seem small in the moment, but its impact can last for years. So the real question isn't whether kindness works. History already answered that. The real question is something deeper. Can we stay kind without forgetting our own value? Can we choose compassion without allowing the world to erase our boundaries? Because the future of every community, every relationship, and every society depends on that balance. If this message made you pause for a moment, there's a good chance someone else in your life needs to hear it too. Maybe a friend who always gives too much. Maybe someone who feels invisible. Or maybe someone who has forgotten how powerful kindness can be. So if this message spoke to you, share this video with someone who deserves to be reminded that their kindness still matters. Sometimes the smallest reminder can change someone's entire day. And sometimes that reminder begins with you. Here's the truth about the kindness paradox. The kindest people are often hurt the most because they give without limits. So if you're one of them, this is your reminder. Your kindness is not weakness. The world can be harsh to kind people, but that doesn't mean you stop being one. It just means you learn where to give your kindness. So tell me, what's one moment kindness hurt you or healed you? Drop it in the comments. Let's build a space where kindness is understood. Like, share, and remind someone they're not alone. This is Kindness is Everything, with a reminder, stay kind, always, no matter what. For more videos like this, hit subscribe. Thank you.